Hello, everyone, and welcome to this talk on how to lead data science teams, the 3Ds of data science leadership. I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of information about my background as a manager to give you context on where I'm coming from with this talk. I'll then present a little bit about what a manager does in my perspective, and we'll provide a useful framework to understand the rest of this presentation. And then I'll complete by talking about the 3Ds of data science leadership. To start, my background as a manager. So I've led a digital analytics team for the Democratic Party during the 2014 midterms. We helped the digital department use analytics to improve its digital fundraising program. I then built and grew a data team at a fintech startup called Even, helping the company use its data to understand its business, its customers, and how to develop products. And I'm now leading a data science team that focuses on legal policy at Uber, where we help the legal organization globally at Uber to handle matters of litigation, regulation, and competition that have to deal with data and rely on data to make arguments in court. In terms of my perspective as a manager and what they do, I think this is important to get out of the way before we move on to the Ds of data science leadership. The first thing that a manager does is provide accountability, both to leadership that oversees the team, but also to the team itself in terms of being able to take their concerns and their issues and present them to the company as needed. The second is direction. The manager sets vision and objectives for the team in terms of where they should go relative to the priorities and the directions of the broader teams. A manager also offers connection, helping to align the team with others, both peer organizations and different cross-functional stakeholders, but also championing the team to others and advocating for the needs of the team and whatever they need to be able to get their job done. Manager also offers opportunities of growth. They grow the team as needed in terms of finding additional headcount for different demands that are placed on the team, but also in providing support of professional development to the members of the team. And then finally, manager is responsible for process, promoting ways of doing work that are efficient, that are repeatable, that scale to the demands of the team, and that are in compliance with the different kinds of if any, regulatory constraints and certainly internal company constraints to the work that data science has to take in their given organization. So given that, and understanding that as the role that a data science manager plays, what are the 3Ds of data science leadership? I define them as follows. The first is diplomat. So a data science leader has to help, has to be able to get the lay of the land in the organization, understanding what roles data science is playing and what roles data science is currently not playing. They have to then serve as a diagnostician, helping to figure out how they can help, how data science can solve any of the problems that an organization is facing. And third, they have to act as developers by helping the organization to do something about those problems and by building the teams and managing the teams responsible for deploying and maintaining these kinds of data science applications. As a diplomat, data science manager has to speak the language of cross-functional partners, understanding their needs in the organization and using these needs to inform the roadmap of their team. So for example, if the COO is more interested in user adoption over engagement, it's then important for the data science leader to understand that they should be focusing on something like marketing optimization over improvements to the product intelligence. Likewise, as a diplomat, the data science leader has to speak the language of their team. They have to be able to understand the strengths and the challenges of their team to be able to inform the roadmap that the team can reasonably accomplish within some period of time. So for example, if they recognize that they spend too much time dealing with bugs in their ETL pipeline and that this is slowing them down and hurting their morale, they need to be able to try to secure the resources to be able to invest in the bandwidth needed now to get returns on this process later, and helping to translate these needs that the team has to the broader organization. And finally, as a diplomat, they have to get both of these sides excited about data science in the organization, helping the team see the potential that data science can play in the organization, and helping the organization see the potential as well, and understand what it takes to be able to push data science in their work. So as I just said, it help others in the org see the value that their team can offer. For example, by giving them bandwidth to improve our ETL process, you'll let the data science team move faster on user adoption initiatives down the road, and then also help the teams that see the current and future role of data science in the organization. For example, helping them understand that user adoption projects have more impact now, and will then let the team tackle more exciting product intelligence work later. The second hat that a data science leader wears is that of a diagnostician. And here we start with the premise that data science is a good way to solve some problems, but a bad way to solve most problems. And the role of the data science leader is to ask which, if any, of the organization's objectives can be furthered or better furthered by data science, and how, and then be able to figure out what exactly that looks like. So, for example, if our customer support staff is overwhelmed, we can ask the question of, could we use data science to direct customers to relevant, frequently asked questions before sending them to customer support staff, and thus saving the customer support staff time and giving them more bandwidth. So they have to essentially figure out what is stopping the data science team from offering more value to the organization. For example, the marketing team has never worked in data science before and are unaware of how their work can be augmented with data science. And then figure out whether the bounds of data science in the organization are technical or cultural. An example of a technical boundary is one in which, say, model deployment is a manual process that takes too long, so real-time model predictions become inaccurate more quickly than models can be updated. This is an example in which an infrastructure limitation is preventing data science from providing more value. A cultural example would be one in which product teams don't have embedded data scientists, and that is preventing products from being developed with data science features in mind. So here, the data scientists are available and they could be providing more inputs into the kind of products that are being developed, but because they're not in the room when decisions are being made about product strategy, the products, as a result, are underusing data science in some meaningful way. And then the final hat that data science leaders have to wear is that of a developer. So they have to think about how they develop themselves, recognizing that leading a data science team is hard and that they can probably do a better job and learn how to become more effective data science leaders. They have to read, think, talk, and write more and often about data science leadership because it's a craft that requires some time to acquire, and it's in some important respects a very distinct job from being an individual contributor data scientist. So for those of you who are interested, I've created a GitHub repo called Data Science Management Resources that helps to collect a lot of the materials that I found on the subject. And it's an open source repo so that people can contribute to it and add any kinds of resources that I may have missed. So I'm hoping to keep this updated over time. In terms of developing the team, data science is a hard craft to master well. And it's important for data science managers to be able to teach and pass on any knowledge and know-how that they have. And then at some point, they have to be able to get out of the way and let the team learn by themselves. It's true that data science is a fast-moving field, and so it's not always possible to keep up with the latest developments while at the same time managing teams. There comes a point in time at which individual contributors may know more or different things than the managers, and that's okay and expected. But they should still be able to provide strategic guidance on the kinds of questions that data scientists need to ask. And then finally, leadership is also hard to master, but aspiring managers can be taught some aspects of what it is to be a data science manager. This is another important function that a data science manager can help play, is in training the next generation of data science managers and also furthering the professional development of the people on their team. And finally, data science leaders also have to develop the org. They have to help the organization understand the value that data science offers and how they can unlock it. A lot of this is done in the diplomacy work, in helping to push the technical and the cultural boundaries of data science in the organization. identifying them, diagnosing them, and then trying to find solutions around them to the extent that the team has bandwidth and space to be able to do this kind of work. It's also important. I would argue that data science leaders spend some time writing code alongside the people on their team. I think this is the best way for them to really understand the strengths and the challenges that their team may be facing. And so finding a way in which they can still contribute to the team that the work is doing as an individual contributor is an important way of really empathizing with the people on their team. And it's true that as you move up, you may not have the possibility of doing this. You may be running smaller analyses. You may be owning smaller models, but I think it's still an important practice to try to keep up for as long as possible. So these then in turn and in summary are the 3 Ds of data science leadership. We have diplomacy, the ability to be able to get the lay of the land and read and understand the business and the product and know what role data science could play there, to be a diagnostician and figure out how to help and what are the blockers that need to be removed for data science to be more effective and impactful in the organization. And then finally, there's development, which is doing something about it in terms of supporting your team, building out the data science practice in the organization, and then also continuing to improve yourself, both by practicing as an individual contributor to the extent that you can, and also by continuing to improve and grow and learn as a data science leader.